name is Skye Taylor, and today we're going to talk about a few little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I'd like to pass them on to you. Maybe you can use them. First of all, when you're painting in acrylics or oils, what I do for a palette, instead of going out and going to the store and buying an expensive palette, it can get very expensive, there's ways to economize. You still get the benefits of it, but yet you're not spending the money. Go to the dollar store, pick up wax paper. Wax paper makes an excellent palette. Plus, what's great about it is after you use it, you just crumble it up and throw it away. Another thing too, I use, my wife went into a store one day and I told her, I said, you know what, I'm looking for little containers to put my paint in. And she came up with these containers, and they weren't that expensive. I think they were like $3 for $1 or something like that. Glad makes them, these little plastic containers. And they're great for mixing paint, plus they have a lid. But here's the best part of it. You see how dirty this is? Because it's acrylic, and that's what I recommend you using them for, you can actually peel this off when you're done. You peel it off, you got an empty container, you could wash it out, reuse it again. The great thing is if you mix paints inside this container, you get a lid with it. So you can put a lid on it and save it till the next day if it's a special color. You can see I'm a waster, but what the heck. So that's a nice little tip. I bought probably about 12 of these. And when I'm mixing paint, I just grab one and mix with it and throw it off to the side. If it dries, I don't care. Inexpensive, cheap way to get by. Another thing is, what drives me crazy is I was watching a video here on YouTube, and I was watching a guy get ready to pack his painting up. He was using tape. And what he would do is he took this roll of tape, and every time he would need a piece, he didn't have a container for it or anything. He'd just rip it off, lay it down, cut it. Oh my God, it took forever for him to wrap it up. Years ago, I came up with an idea, because I did a little shipping on eBay. I tried to figure out a way on how to get an inexpensive tape machine. Back in the day, I had bought this big jumbo tape machine with the paper tape. It cost me like $300 or $400, cases of paper tape. And eventually what happened is I bought so many rolls of tape and ended up drying out the paper tape. It was nuts. But I came up with this inexpensive way, and I think you'll appreciate this. Can you see this, folks? Guess what it is? It's a tape gun. Imagine a big thick handle. What I did, and you do too, you go over to Staples or Office Max and look for a heavy-duty tape gun. They're probably, I would say, probably about $13, and you get a couple rolls with it. You take the handle off it. Look for the nut on the top. You take the handle off. Now you can set it on a counter and use it as a tape machine. You can hold it and do it real easy. Or, I mean, you could put it on the table also. You could screw it down to a table if you wanted to. I don't do that. I like to move it around. But it actually sits really nice on the table. I'll show you a bit later on. So this is an easy way to get tape. Another thing too is that when you're shipping, sometimes you want to ship a big painting. You would probably be best, it's expensive to do it this way, but if you have one big painting to go to U-Haul. You can get these corner brackets. Let's take one out here for you. They break off like this, and they're corner brackets that, oops, this way. They would fit on your painting like this. Now what's nice about it is you get 4 of them, and you get a strap too. You can put the strap around the painting to protect it. That fits inside the box. These cost around $5. I would do that if it's a very, very expensive painting and you don't want it to get damaged. Another tip I'd like to talk about is the bucket in which you put your brushes in. Let's face it, we're all guilty of getting the smallest little container and cramming a lot of brushes in, and it ends up looking like this. Now what happens with this is that all the sludge gets on the bottom and you end up with brushes that you don't really want to paint with. Plus the water gets dirty quick. So what you want to do is you go to Dollar General, spend $1.50, go to the car wash section, usually they have them, or anywhere else, wherever you can get buckets, it doesn't make a difference. Get a bucket about like this size. You fill it with, I'd say about halfway with water, or maybe even 3/4 of the way with water. Especially if you're working with big brushes. You throw the big brushes in, and what happens is because there's so much water, they clean quicker, and the water stays cleaner too. And your brushes stay clean. Another tip is if you're painting paintings like this, abstracts, instead of using a lot of little brushes, now brushes can be very expensive. I don't care where you buy them. Especially for a brush similar to this. If you buy this, if it's a name, you could pay probably about $4 or $5 for a brush like this. It's ridiculous. You go to Home Depot, and I think it's like $1. Sometimes you can get them for 50 cents or 75 cents. They're boar bristle. They're 100% natural, and they work amazing. I painted paintings like this with them, not a problem. Plus they're inexpensive. If they get too bad, you can always throw them away. But you get a lot of bang for your buck. They're just as good. And plus they're natural here. Another tip is if you're the type of artist that uses a table to paint, and you might use a water bottle, and you use a lot of water, sometimes the water will drip off the edges, and if you have it laying flat, like this, it's going to stick to the paper. It's going to present a real problem. What I came up with is, I got pieces of wood, blocks of wood, just 2x4s cut. You put it down, and you can put the painting on the block, so when the water drips, it drips off the side and does not stick to the back of the painting. Keeps it clean. So that's another little tip too. And of course, you've got a couple of them, and you can, if you're working with bigger canvases, what you want to do is you want to keep it under the canvas. You don't want it, you try to keep it under so the water will drip straight down. Just like this. Real easy. This way no paper or anything is sticking to it. I want to thank you for stopping by. I hope that the tips that I provided today were useful, and as we go on, I'll be doing more tapes. I just want to leave you with some words. Pablo Picasso was a cubist. He was stuck in a cube. Jackson Pollock, he was nothing more than a drip. Skye Taylor, the abstract artist, was nothing more than a pigment of your imagination. Happy painting.